Come on in. This is Deb with Art and Grace. Hi, Sherry. I think you're the first one here. Welcome. I wanted to come live a minute early to be sure we've got a good picture here, and it looks like you guys can see. Let me know if you can hear well, all the things. But here is what we're going to paint tonight. And I thought I would do it on wood so that we could add glass and resin. Probably not tonight. I believe this will, whoops, let me turn that volume down. Hold, please. I believe that it'll take too long to do it all tonight, but if you guys, how come the volume's not going down? There. If you guys want to see me do the glass and resin, we can do that another night. So come on in. I hope you guys have had a wonderful day and a good weekend. We're going to get started pretty quick. Hi, Teresa. Hi, Marcia. Glad y'all are coming in. Because, you know, these take a little bit. But I have already prepped my surface here with multi-purpose sealer. I put on the supply list, you can use a canvas. This is just a regular stretched canvas. It does not have to be wood. But since I believe I'm going to put some glass and resin, I thought I would go ahead and prep my wood and do that. So I've done that. Hi, Carolyn. So glad you guys are coming in. Definitely say hey when you get here. So we're going to go ahead and do a background. And if you have not seen any of my posts today, I've already posted a bunch, but I do have this free tracer for you. Just go to my website, artgracepaint.com. If you are in my VIP group, you never have to worry. It's already in the group. So you would not have to deal with that. But if not, then go get it on the website and you'll be able to paint it with your kids or grandkids, whatever you might want to do. And just have some fun with us, And if you don't paint it tonight, that's fine. Paint it another night. So the first thing I'm doing is getting out a flat brush, and I'm going to get it wet, dip it in my water, tap it off, and even tap it on the paper towel a little. I don't want my brush soaking wet, and I don't want the ferrule, this metal part, soaking wet. Sometimes it will drop down on your painting. That happens a lot. I forgot I need to mix, so I'm going to take, that's not the palette, this little palette knife, and we're going to mix a little bit of this. So let's take some blue and some white and get a light blue going. Hey, Joanne, you love the cowboy boots? Yes, we had to put a twist on it, make it cute and fun and kind of Deb-like. So we put some boots on her. She doesn't wear high heels, does she? But, that's another thing. You can use my tracer and change it up how you want to. So if you want to put her in high heels, do that. Whatever you want to do. And then whatever is on this palette knife, I'm probably going to leave, maybe take a little, there is quite a bit. So see, there's not very much. I'm just going to mix the white here with just that little tiny bit of blue. And this I know is probably a lot of paint, maybe too much, but at least we'll have what we need and not run out, because I really don't like running out when I'm live. Okay. I do want to take a little black and add to some blue. If you want to paint this in your mixed media, how do you prep the paper? You don't have to. Paint right in your mixed media book. It's sort of like painting on a canvas. You can just get going. Now, that's if you have a true mixed media book. If you're just using sometimes I've painted in all kinds of things, honestly. And if it is something really thin paper, you would want to prep it with some gesso. But if you're just painting in a true mixed media book, then yeah, you don't have to do anything. I think I'm going to actually use all this blue, so let me move it over. Hi Debbie, we're going to get a few shades of blue going because you know how I do my backgrounds usually like this. Hi Cheryl, hi Luann. I'm so happy y'all are coming in. I'm glad y'all are here. If I've missed seeing you, just say something again and I'll see you, hopefully. I'm going to, look up occasionally. So anyway, dip your brush, tap it off, and let's get going. I'm going to start with my outer area in this really dark blue. So we're going to load our brush. I do it back and forth, and just kind of start with a really dark on my corners. And as you notice, I'm going in a kind of round circular motion, because that is going to be how we get our moon on here the way I want it. So just kind of darkest out here on the edges. See why I needed all of that paint? Because I forget I'm using a 9x12, and I really don't like to mix with my brush. It's a bad example, you know, but sometimes, you know, if you're in a hurry. Hi, Leanne. How are you guys doing today? September is just about gone, and I still have, you know, I was looking at my calendar today going, oh, I forgot about that. I do have a few fall paintings. I mean, more than a few, but I guess I was thinking in my mind, I'm ready for Christmas, and so let's get going with Christmas, but I really do have quite a few more fall things to do. We are doing a fall fox this week with our paint night. So you guys be sure and tune in paint night. That will be a fun one, really fun. And then what else do we, we do have a little, what I call wonky house. Do you guys remember from last year, my wonky house? But I've updated it and it's really cute, I think. So it's different than last year's. You'll definitely want to try it. So I've got my dark going really well now. Lots of dark all around the edges. This is Deco Art. If you haven't painted with me before, you don't know that I love Deco Art paint. I loved it so much that I asked them to be a affiliate, because that's all I use. I've tried lots of paint and this is my favorite. So I am an affiliate and I have a 20% off code. It is in the description of this video. If you would like to go to their website to buy, just use that code and link and I will get credit, and I greatly appreciate that. Eventually will help me add more paint to my stash. But it has great coverage. So as you can see, I mean, it's covered our wood excellent. And it's not, oh, Inga, you're so sweet. Thank you. It's, you know, not much more expensive than any other brand. And just shop around. I always give you my Amazon link. And I give you a link to the Deco Art website. But, you know, you can go to your, I started to say Joann's. Joann's, so not Joann's, but Michael's, Hobby Lobby, other places have it, and you can check prices. So as you see, I took my darkest color, then I put my medium blue, and now I've dipped into my light blue and putting some swirls of that. Probably could have brought that a little. I think I'm going to kind of fill that in. I need my moon more up here, so, and then I'm going to go with my lightest color that has lots of white right here in the center and just do a little circle. Now we're going to do more to this, so just you wait. But I'm going to kind of get my circle going. Listen, when you're painting, if you're like me, I paint to relax. All the ladies have heard my spiel. You know, they know this is my relaxation, my escape or respite from when I was taking care of my mom with Alzheimer's. But we all need a respite from something. So yours may not be Alzheimer's. It may be just world events. It may be family stuff going on, financial stuff going on, health stuff, whatever. Painting is a fantastic thing to do for yourself. Thank you, Inga. I appreciate that so, so much. I am going to take this white and just do a few little circles. And what I was started to say was, this does not have to be perfect. My style of painting is whimsical and fun and imperfect. And I love it that way, because now I don't have to stress about it. I don't have to feel like, you know, ooh, this isn't a good painting or whatever. Like, I can just have fun with it and not worry about it being perfect. So no fuss, no fussy painting here. I am going to mix up a little bit more of our dark blue, I believe, because I just didn't get quite enough. Let me look at your comments. Hi, Donna, and oh, good. I'm glad y'all are here. Yay. I saw that you said, ooh, I like this one. Thank you. One purchase. Oh, yes, the Deco Art 20% coupon, thank you, Mickey, is good for one purchase. So I would use it, you know, if you're sure you want to stock up or something, that's a great time to use it. Like, it doesn't really help you too much if you're just buying one thing. But yeah, you know, it's there to use. Hi, Monica. I miss you. How are you doing? Glad to see you. Thank you guys for showing up live. I knew this would be a really fun one to paint, and I was hoping y'all would come. So I'm just taking some of that dark and kind of going around. You can do this as many times as you want until you get your circles kind of how you want. I'm doing these pretty big and sweeping. Now, if I go around it too many times, I'm going to make it all one color. So I got to be careful not to do that. But, you know, see, you get a really pretty moon look just shining out. Okay. Now I'm going to dry this with my heat tool. Normally, I like to let stuff like that dry if I can. But when I'm live, I don't have time to let it dry. So we're going to dry this. Oh, good. I'm so glad, Shelly. Take time to relax with painting, friend. I'm so glad, Joanne. I'm glad. It's definitely more fun for me for y'all to be here. And I know that if you're watching the replay, you're like, who is she talking to? It's probably weird, but just skip through if you need to. And please forgive me. Most of my videos are uploads, not live. And just a little FYI while I'm drying this, I have different tabs on my YouTube channel, so you can click on the list that is videos, and you can also click on a list that says live. This would be obviously a live, and so even if you watch the replay, it's going to be labeled as a live. Does that make sense? Sometimes people will say, oh, I couldn't find that one, and that's probably why. Oh, I'm so glad, Shelly. That makes me so happy for you. Because I know, you know, as the world gets crazier, we need to take time for ourselves. And don't feel selfish, you guys, please. We deserve it and we need it. So I just put out a tiny bit of white. That's it. And I'm going to use a dry brush. And I did put this dry brush set on my supply list. It is so good. You can buy cheaper dry brush sets, I'm sure, but I would say this is around maybe 15 bucks. I don't remember for sure, but it is such a good one. They have washed and you know, I just use them over and over. They're still super dense, and so I think you'll love them. I'm going to take this and just start it. You notice I put it in my white and then I offloaded. So pop it in your white and then offload on your plate or on whatever else. Sometimes I do the back of my hand and just offload, because the first time you do this, you don't want to just soak it in paint. So dry brushing for a reason. We're dry brushing some white. There's Pam. Glad you popped in. And I'm going to start in little circles and just get bigger where I want my moon, like so. And because I didn't put too much paint, we have that really pretty kind of dry brush look, and you can see a little of our darker colors behind it. I just think that looks so pretty. And you can do it again, just do the same thing and do it again. This time I started on the outside because that's where I want more paint. Yes, I'm so glad you guys know each other, chit chat. You know, even if you don't, if you're watching and you've never, you know, you don't know these people and all that, you can still say hi if you choose to, and I promise they'll be nice. I totally brag because I have the sweetest ladies that watch me. I never have any ugliness. I mean, I'm just so grateful for this little community that we have built, and so, yeah, you know, get to know them if you want to. If you want to be a silent watcher, that's okay too. But so there, just until you like the look. And I, you know, I play around, and sometimes I want more, sometimes I don't. There you go. That's a pretty good moon, if you ask me. So I am going to just let this sit in my water, and I'll go wash it when I'm done. And if you'll take care of your brushes, you can just use them over and over. And once I bought a pretty decent set. Now this is still an inexpensive set, this orange set that I use, but I have taken good care of them, and they just last and last. So that's the key. Oh yeah, do I have? I mean, I did I have it on me? Oh, this, yes, yes. I always have paint, no matter what shirt I wear. I typically paint in t-shirts because I 9 times out of 10 am going to get something on me, and I literally hardly have any t-shirts that don't have something on them. I wanted to show y'all another way to use your tracer, because I just thought of this the other day and started doing, or I did it for the first time. But I turned it over and I took one of my chalk pencils. Now this is not on the list, but I can add you the link because I love these. I call them chalk pencils, but they're really charcoal. And if you'll go over your lines, I know that sound is yuck. Oh, that's a sharp one. If you'll go over your lines, which you can see from the back, then you can lay that down and it's perfect. Sorry, mute your sound if this bothers you, because I am not good at drawing boots. It took a while, so I'm totally taking advantage of my own tracer here. There are just some things that I can draw no problem, and the Art and Grace VIPs will tell you that I do teach how to draw. So all of my paintings, I will teach them how to draw and then use the tracer. But since we're live tonight, I don't have time to get this perfect. And I am going to want to add glass and resin. So I was like, I'll just use my tracer so it's perfect. You know what I mean? Not perfect, but. And I really just need basic shapes here. Mute the sound. I know that is annoying. I really don't need to trace the broom. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll get the basic shape. That's good enough, and I'll do my own tree. Really just the boots is what I knew I couldn't do good. So now let's set it about where we want it. And I will kind of put a finger on it, lift this up, and be sure, yeah, I like where the moon is, you know, all that. And then, now, another little trick is if you have some painter's tape, you can tape it down so that if it moves, you know, you're not going to mess up your drawing. And then just take your pencil, or you can use a stylus. I always just use my pencil, and go over where you trace the lines. And it will leave that white chalk or charcoal, whatever, down, and makes your painting so much easier. So if you don't like to draw, or you know, maybe the boots are hard for you too, go grab the tracer. If you're in the VIP group, it's already in there, but if not, it's on my website, artgracepaint.com, and you can get the tracer and supply list. I always pray about my business, and I'm always like, you know, Lord, help me know what to do, what we need, blah, blah, blah. And of course, you know, I've got to start being more careful about making money. So I need to do an auction. I've been prepping for that for days. And so when I knew I was going to do this, I thought, ooh, maybe I can make this like a paint night where I charge and get people to come and pay me $10 and I'll show. And it was like, nope, just do it on your life. That's what I felt he was telling me. I was like, okay. So I got the okay. You know, because a lot of people don't think I should paint anything Halloween. But, you know, I'm not celebrating Halloween itself. I'm not celebrating anything evil. This is just a fun little painting. And since I felt he led me to do it free, I'm like, all right, that made me feel good. I just really have only had one person get ugly about it, and I didn't lose any sleep over it. Oh, thank you. I loved that one. You know, when I asked what everybody thought, let's see if we got most. Oh, the boots. You can't see the boots. Darn it. You can't see that one boot. That's going to be really hard for me. Let me just go over it one more time and see if that helps. But this is a good little, I didn't want to take the time to use a tracer. However, there are people that ask me sometimes, like, how do you use a tracer? So this is it. This is one way. You can also lay down tracing carbon paper underneath, and that will also help. I better remember I added a tree on this, so. Oh, I'm happy to, Luann. I'm happy to. Anything that might get some of y'all painting and having fun with grandkids and all the things, right? So let's see, where's the plate? We will do our tree first over here and kind of go from there. So I'm going to get out more black. Now I know I don't have that traced down yet, but I'm going to grab my thin brush first. So this is just a small number 1, I believe, liner brush. And I'm going to just kind of sketch out my tree with the paint. So we're going to just kind of go down all the way. Of course, you can use your tracer if you want it to be perfect, but I'm all about having fun with it, So just put in a few branches here and there. We want a spooky one coming through the, I know the boot might cover some of that, but it's very easy to draw your own little tree. So, and then we'll just kind of fill it in. A crown with a number. Who? I'm going to let y'all answer that because I need to paint. I'll get way too far behind and I don't want to be here, take all your time. You're a princess. Does anybody know about the crown? I kind of think, you know what I kind of think? I think it's who is engaging with me. So, YouTube is like any other platform where they want you guys to talk to us and let us know what you're thinking. So if you enjoy it, they want to know that you're enjoying it and all that. So if people are talking, they think, oh, that's good, so they give you a crown saying, and I think it has a number, right? Does it have a number? Number 2, number 3, so Shelly's in the running, but that kind of thing. It's just, I think, who's engaging. Ooh, I grabbed some blue and that's so pretty. I always put highlights on this, so the fact that there's a little blue is even better. And I should have thought of that myself because I really like that. Trying to not get my arm in your way. And just, make a few little squiggly kind of things if you want. If you're not using the tracer, for just doing your own thing like this. And then I will take a little bit of pure white. Now, I could use blue. I'll show you what it looks like if we use the blue. I think it's pretty. I'm letting it kind of mesh with a little bit of the black to make kind of a gray blue. Let's just try and see. So for some highlights, it's actually pretty. Just has a hint of blue in it. I'm going to add some more. Sometimes I'll start small, and if I like it, add more, which I do like that blue. Just some kind of squiggly little highlights to the tree. Oh, Helen, you're so awesome. Do you guys know how to do that? Now, my family does, but I don't even know how to do it myself. I don't know how to put it up there. I'm sure it's super simple, but they just always do it. so I don't have to, I guess. I like the blue. What do y'all think? Can y'all tell that it is a little blue? I think that's pretty. If you don't, you know, just use white or gray highlights, but I kind of think that's cool. Hi, Brenda. Didn't see you come in, I don't think. That's how you do it. Okay. Let's put down a little bit of our ground just to ground what we're going to, because I'm going to put the broom on top. So I'm going to use a little green and a little lime green. Oh boy, I sure love YouTube more. Oh, and the security is so much better over here. Now you can use a palette knife. I thought about doing that. Usually I put it on a little thicker, and so, you know, I didn't really want to do that tonight, but that would be a cool look. But I'm just going to grab my brush that I used to start with, the kind of large flat. You can use any brush. It wouldn't matter what type of brush it is, really. And I'm going to go kind of side to side and just lay down a little bit of ground, and not necessarily grass. This is what, in my mind, when I did this, I was like, this is like bubbles spilling over. And then I'll go right into my lime green and lay that on top. And kind of see how I do it back and forth a little bit. Let a little bit mix. Just gives it a cool look. Okay. And then that has some drying to do. So I'm going to leave that there and try not to get my arm in it. I love that blended look. And I may put more lime at the end. Yes, Brenda, isn't that great? Okay. I'm going to flip this around and do my boots while this ground is drying. So flip your canvas. That's another little trick. If you have any trouble painting and you feel like, you know, I just can't be neat, it will definitely help you to kind of flip things and get it to where it's convenient for you. Get that brush wet, tap it off, and we're going to grab our black. Oh, I hope I can see. Let's see. I can see my lines. That is hard to see. I probably did not do that well, but I think it'll be okay. Since I'm going to practice what I preach and say nothing has to be perfect. Oh. See, I think that might have supposed to be come up. I can't tell. I just can't see my lines. We're going to go for it. I'm grabbing a larger brush now that I got the little part done. She has a very wide right calf, and that's why she's having this large boot over here. Just make up a story. See how much of our moon we covered? Now you could, you know, do it different, but it will be cute either way. I should look at my little, that's not too terribly bad. I think I'm going to kind of improvise and bring that down a little more. Not terrible. Have you guys had dinner? Tell me what's on the menu. That's right, Inga. Same over here. It's, I said the other day, I was like, it's Saturday, Sunday, Thursday. I think there's another day. Oh, Monday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday are football. What the heck? Okay. So I may off camera, later fix my boot because that is really wide, but it'll be okay. I'm going to grab a little brown. I'm using burnt umber, but use whatever you have and want to use. I'm going to put a little strip of brown here. My stomach is growling. That's why I asked y'all. Remember, turn that canvas, whatever works for your hand. Sometimes it's hard for me to paint live, to keep everything under the camera like I need it to be, because I need to turn, so I'll just turn the canvas. Anyway. And then I'm going to take a little of that brown on my brush and see, I've kind of mixed it with the black because I kind of got into the black, and just scuff up the boot a little with that. Just scuff it on. Oh, I didn't do that heel. So then take a little brown and scuff that on. And then I take a little white as well. Mix that and it will kind of look charcoal. And, oh, we do need the bottom is charcoal or kind of a gray, so let's mix a little bit more with our black. Do the bottom of that boot. You like the blue? Thank you. I'm glad. She is upside down, so we're seeing the bottom of some of her boot. I think it's dry enough. I'm going to go ahead and do this little brown strap. You love the tree? Oh, thanks. It was very easy. Okay, we'll flip it back around and we'll do her tights. And look, my green is drying, but I got a lot of green down there, so it's going to have to not get my arm in it, which that's easier said than done. Now, again, you can make her tights any color, but I'm doing orange and purple. Oh, cad orange. I'm going to try some. Oh, no, it's out. That's why. I thought I used tiger lily today, or for this, because I couldn't find my cad orange. Usually I use cadmium orange, but this is out. There's hardly anything in it. So this is, for some reason, I don't know if it's just my bottle, but the tiger lily, it's a beautiful color, but it's thin. Thinner than my other Deco Art paints. So I don't know why, but anyway, I was going to grab that when I saw it. Okay, so you can take your chalk and draw your lines again if you want. if you do what I'm doing. Or you can just wing it, but probably better for me to go ahead and keep me in check. Like so. And I'll just use this little brush. This will take several coats because it is thin and translucent. You know, orange is one of those colors that is very translucent by itself. I could put a little white with it to make it a little more opaque, but it changed the color too much. I didn't really care for it. I'll show you just for fun. See how it makes it so light? And that's fine for the first coat. We can paint over it. Maybe that will help to do one coat with this and then let me know if you're going to try this. Again, I say this every Halloween that it would be really cute to paint this on one of those canvas bags and give it either to a child that's trick-or-treating or just give somebody for fun. If I was going to do it, I'd probably give it to my grown kids with popcorn and Cokes in it or something. Or you could do one of those paper craft sacks like we did our scarecrow. And if you weren't here for the little scarecrow painting, it's just a few back, so you can watch that. Hi, Brookie. Oh, Brenda, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hi, Mary. Yes, I have put my arm in resin. Not a lot, but I have definitely set. I did something just the other day, and I took the lid and got something in it. That might have been my jewelry, but yeah, it's easy to do, isn't it? I've definitely gotten my hair in resin. I always pull my hair back when I do resin, but I forgot or one day I just didn't, and I had to cut a little portion of my hair out. It wasn't a lot, but if you get resin in your hair, you're not getting it out. Let me just say that. Yes, you can do anything, any of your favorite colors for sure. This would be really fun to have a couple of people over and paint with you and, you know, make some little cute snacks. I'm going to flip it so that I keep my hand out of this side so I can flip it this way. And I had a decision. I couldn't decide if I wanted them to kind of match up, but I did. So you could put the orange in this space if you would rather, but I thought it'd be fine to let them match up here. Did y'all tell me what you're eating tonight? I didn't see. It'll just make my stomach growl more. And do you guys want to watch me put the resin or just show you the finished? I know my VIP ladies get tired of it because you know, if you've seen me do it once or twice, you probably don't care, but I just have so much fun doing the glass and resin. Taco Bell. Yum. I haven't had that in forever. Like years. Well, okay. Yeah, I'd say a year. I started to say, I don't think we have one, but yeah, we do. We just never go there. It's not, ours is not that good, I'll be honest. I used to like their, they had a certain thing. It was like a flat, crispy tostada thing. But like I said, the one near us is not very good. For as fast, as we can do paintings, like backgrounds and things, this is just a little time consuming, getting your stripes down, but the end result is worth it, right? Just take your time, put on some music. I always say that, put on music and just relax. Light a candle. I didn't light my candle tonight, but I should. Lighting a candle always helps me a little. Oh, you flew. Okay. Well, Judy, bummer, but I'm glad that you got to fly because that's way better than driving. Yeah, I would love to meet up with all of you. And that is definitely a goal that we're working towards. So, I'm going to let this dry and go to the purple next. But I do have my fan blowing, so it's drying pretty quick. I'm going to use my little angle brush. No, this is a flat brush, sorry. Usually, I pulled an angle last night. No, I did this. Okay, and go to purple. So just a little flat brush or an angle brush will work. And do your stripes. I think this will be a little faster maybe. Have y'all painted my little cowboy scarecrow? Ooh, we've got a cowboy ghost too. Remember those? Those should be here on YouTube. If you don't see them, then that just means they were in the VIP group, so they're unlisted. But we've done a little ghost wearing a cowboy hat and holding a rope. That was done with resin and glass. And then we have a pumpkin wearing a cowboy hat. So like a pumpkin scarecrow. I like to put the Western twist on mine since I live here in Fort Worth, Cowtown. You miss them already? I know, Judy. I wish families could just live together or live close by and get to enjoy each other. Hi, Carrie. You like to watch the resin? Did anybody else answer? I think even if you don't want to do resin, it's kind of fun to watch. Or it would be. Charleston, South Carolina. Okay, we're going to let that dry while we paint our broom and our little cauldron. Okay, a little more brown. Spent the weekend with it. Oh, good. Is he the one with the dog? Inga got the puppy. That's probably enough. Let me use my thing here. I'm going to take this white and mix with the brown and get a little tan color. Also, did I not put yellow on our list? I don't think I did, but I'm going to use a little yellow, not much, for our broom. Mixing a little yellow with the brown. And then we've got our brown. Going back to that round brush. Hi, Deb. Oh, I'm glad you're here. Don't worry about being late. Hi, Mary. Oh, you're saying it to her. Sorry. We did already say hi. Okay, so taking a little brown and just mix with that yellow brown, and we're going to draw on our broom. And I'm just letting the edges kind of go out like that. And we'll have to let that dry before we do more to it. Oh, I did this broom a little different. Let me try to salvage that. I did this broom where, you know, the little knots up here. That's not quite what I had on my last painting I did, but I changed it up. Yeah, now it looks funny. I was trying to fix that. We're just making a big old long broom here. I wanted this one to look like that one. Now let's take some and do the little stick part. And again, that's going to need to sit here and dry so we can do the next step to that. Teresa painted the cowboy pumpkin last year. I don't remember. You should repost it so I can see. You know my memory. That was a fun one. I liked that one. I'm getting out a little black for our cauldron. Any of your brushes will do, whichever one you feel most comfortable with. It doesn't really matter. Flat, round, whatever. And just paint it in for your first step. Oh, yes, I see what you're saying. Yes, kids never want to move and leave their school for sure. Even though it might even be better for them. My nephew had to leave his school senior year, and I was the one, I felt so bad for him, but he loved his senior year in his new town. So you never know, right? So whatever happens, we trust that that was meant to be. But I will pray for him on that. It's hard making those decisions when you've got kids involved. Well, and it may not be his decision, right? Forget may not be his decision. little cauldron feet. That's all you have to do for now on this. We will add some highlights to it and some color to it. But I'm going to go and work on my tights again. It's one of these. I'm going to get all that excess water off my brush. Y'all still with me? I love having y'all live. Now you can use glitter paint here. You could, think outside the box. You could use neon paint. All depends on what you're going to do with it, who you're going to give it to, that kind of thing. But like say it was for the kids to take, maybe paint this on a bag so they could pick up candy in it. Having some glow-in-the-dark paint would be fun. I don't have any. I keep that on hand, but I think it'd be cute to do. Do y'all have a favorite costume from when your kids were little? That is such an easy one for me because Maddie was, one time we did Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, and I mean, it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. She was so cute. The costume was just really good, and I made her a little Toto in a little wooden basket to carry, which was hilarious. And her hair, a friend of mine did her hair to get it perfect. So just a really good year. And then Austin was Batman a few times because he loved Batman when he was little. And so I just always think of him as Batman. That would be my favorite for him. So let's hear y'all's. Hi, Sydney. How are you, friend? I hope you had a wonderful birthday and felt very special. We've had several this month, several birthdays. And Carrie's having a birthday this week. Okay. Yes, Pam, you can, for sure. You can change it up. Like I said, I could totally picture somebody just changing the boots to high heels or witch boots if they want, or whatever, Can totally do anything. The right brushes will make your job so much easier because as you see, you're just sliding it on. It's just a nice size for this. Mm-hmm. In fact, I've got one from a few years ago, Pam. If you remind me, I can find it for you, but it's got the typical witch boots, with a big buckle. So, and she's in a pot like this. So remind me if you want to see it, and I'll find it for y'all. we have, you know, sometimes I go through things from the past and I just cannot believe how much we have. And I know that probably the majority of y'all have not even seen just because there's so much. So if you're ever looking for something, you should just ask me because we might have it. All right, let's kind of do some of the, well, we're going to go back over our broom, but then we'll do some of the fine tuning things and the bubbles and all that. Let's go back over our broom. I'm going to grab my small liner brush and we are going to add some colors into it. Let's grab that yellow I put out. Get your brush pretty wet. My paint is sort of drying from the fan. And then I'll go ahead and pick up some brown, straight brown. Just like a variety of colors in there. And then some black. I really don't have enough. She is already getting birthday wishes. She got to do something special with her sister. I know. I love it when we can celebrate, you know, more than just the one day. Like, y'all deserve more, so stretch it out. I almost didn't get one this year, but we did end up, and that was really sweet and fun. And my kids are so good to me, I can't even tell y'all. So is Ron, but I just mean, it always surprises me when my kids do the sweetest, most thoughtful things, and I would rather them save their money, but they refuse. We're just putting a few extra colors in everything. So now I picked up that little tan, what I have on here, and just put a few, just keep adding until you like the look. Usually when I paint something like this, it won't look the same twice because I'm just grabbing what's on my palette. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little black, grab a little white with it. And just make a few little swipes across the broom, like holding it together. Like that. We can grab, just grabbing that round brush, grab some of our lime green and go ahead and be sure we've got plenty of that. Just kind of scraping almost sideways, you know. I'm going to flip it and work on the boots a minute. Now, I'm going to pull out this metallic copper. It wound up being really pretty. When I do my glass and resin, I'm going to put all these little stars on her boots. Like that, you know, just kind of sprinkle these down here. But I don't even worry about, I believe I started to say, I don't even think I put stars on your tracer, but, you know, I just kind of start going with little stars. They do not have to be perfect. Let them kind of point different ways if you want. Somebody left. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Did you do that to Facebook? Where do you, when y'all say that, where are you sending it to? I looked on there because, you know, people will always say shared it for you, and I'm like, where are y'all sharing? That's the only place I know to share is Facebook. I do send it to Pinterest, actually, sometimes, if I remember. I love Pinterest. I have so many recipes and things pinned that I'm probably never, ever going to do. I forgot to put my little lines on my boots. These don't have to be anything fancy, just, you know, something like that. Or use the tracer. Tracer is accurate-ish. Isn't that copper pretty? I love that copper. Facebook. Okay, that's what I figured. Okay. I was thinking if there's another thing I'm supposed to be doing, let me know. But you see how fast. I mean, it really doesn't have to be perfect. And it's a good thing. Oops. At some point, if I have, like to see it again. You mean the legs or the feet, the cauldron thing? Because I'm happy to show you. I just saw it the other day. So when I get about to this point, you know, I can come back with a little wet rag or whatever and just kind of remove that. Okay, so let's kind of give our pot a little bit of something. I'm going to grab, let me think which one I want. My round, I think. I think I used my angle on that other one, but I'm going to use this round on this one. Grab some of the purple. So I'm just putting the paint on my brush and then coming over and wiping it off, like offloading a lot of it. Start with a little and then add more if you like it, you know, or if you want more. But if you go in really big, you may really not like it and wish you hadn't done it, which is no big deal. You can always paint over it, but I always start small. Just dry brush some of that on there if you like that. And I do, you know me, I like a lot of color. And then let's do our little circles. Let's see how fast we can do these little circles. I'm going to use a number 1 round. Get some fresh paint because that is drying a little bit. And I'm going to do my first round in green and then go over them with the lime. You can go really fast. They don't have to be perfect. Vary in size if you want. I'm acting like y'all are not going to use the tracer, but if you use a tracer, you don't have to think about it. But it's coming together, you guys. Now, I don't worry about letting that dry. I'll go right into my lime green. I'm going to get some fresh. Go right into that lime green, and we're going to put that right on top. And I'm just going to kind of go swipe. So just let your brush do the work. That's why having, a good brush and, kind of knowing what your brushes will do for you, like we studied in our Painting 101 course that we did. Kind of like this, just a little swipe. Like so. And then I'll take that lime green, move some over, and take some white. Way too much. And that lightens it up. So instead of using white as my highlight color for these, I'm just using this really light green. I'm not putting a lot on my brush. You can even go down to your smaller brush if you want. And then just come at the top of each little bubble with that light color. And you're building on your bubbles and making them look even prettier. You can also take some of that and add around. Layering is the key, in my opinion, to a really unique, pretty painting. Okay, let's do our words. And for that, you can use either of these brushes. I'm going to use this one. If the boot fits, I didn't use my tracer, so I'm going to try to look at that and just keep it neat. That's the goal here, is try to keep it neat. And then we'll do our lining, so don't fear, we're not quite done. Oh, and I did mix just a touch of white with this when I did my words, so I'm going to pull. It lightened it up just enough. I liked it. Thought it looks really good against the black, so I'll do that. I can tell I'm putting my hand in the green. Can y'all tell I'm holding my breath? Y'all are quiet tonight. Oh, Judy, you're so sweet. Now I'm going to add a little more color now that I've got the words on there. This is that lighter purple, so I'm just kind of going back with that. We're going to take our liner brush and some black, and we're going to line her legs. See if I can keep my hand out of everything. I want you guys to notice where I'm putting my hand. It's laying on the project. That gives you stability. So when you're trying to do something kind of small like this, or be neat with it, putting your hand and resting it down on the table will definitely help. So let your painting dry before you do that, because if you're like me, you'll stick your hand in paint. Whoops, see, I wasn't too neat on that. But it's okay. It's just a fun, whimsical painting. And that's why I like a lot of this type of thing, because we can just do it quickly and have fun and not stress. I don't want to have to be fussy. I think I'm going to do bubbles instead of, since I didn't go by the tracer, might as well. I think bubbles are cute on this too. Did y'all do this when you were young? You know, write things with the bubble letters? So use whatever you have, use whatever colors you want, use, you know, anything you desire to paint on, and you can grab the tracer and supply list on my website if you don't have it, artgracepaint.com. It is already in the group. If you're in the VIP group, don't worry, it's already in there. Let's take a look. Y'all let me know if from your view you see what it's something it needs or I forgot. Oh, thanks, Pam. You have a hard time even if they're traced. Well, obviously I do too. I didn't trace the whole thing, but you know, like, it's easy to get out of whack. I know I'm forgetting something. Let me think. I don't know. I think it looks fairly much like the other. Not too shabby. Now, I probably would do another coat to her socks because I'm just not getting the best coverage with this orange. I know I went over several times on that other one. Orange is super translucent, so. You like the boots? I'm glad. You know, and you could personalize it. Like maybe you're, you want to paint it for somebody who's a nurse. You could put her nurse shoes, whatever shoes she wears, you know. Because a lot of times they wear those. I used to wear them. I can't remember what they're called, but you know, comfortable nurse shoes. Or if it's you want to paint it for a child, find out what shoes they wear. That'd be cute. All right, that is it, you guys. I hope you will try it. That's it. Super easy, super fun. Oh, I did do a white. I knew it needed something. That is exactly what it is. That is exactly it. Thank you, Helen. What would I do without you? I sure did. Now I gotta be careful because some things are wet. I'll turn it this way. I did. I put a white highlight and that will contrast with that black and be really cute right there. Thank you, Brenda. Let's see, I'm going right there. Just a hint of one. Okay, that's right. I sure did. And I actually would grab that brush back. Now that I'm looking at this one, I'm going to take a little charcoaly color and give her the pot even a little charcoal too. Just dirty it up a little, you know. There we go. Thanks, Helen, for noticing that. All right, guys, thank y'all for being here. I hope you'll try it. I really do. And let me see it. Send it to me if you do, or you can put it in my group, Art and Craft Showcase on Facebook, for everybody to see. I hope y'all have a wonderful evening and come back next Monday. Or should we do this week? Because this is what I pulled to put on here with some of this stuff, and I think this will be so cute to use with glass and resin once these dry, putting down all these things and the little stars on her boots, or even just in the sky would be cute. So what do y'all think? Why don't we just plan on doing this next Monday? We'll put all this stuff on there with resin and see how that looks. So let's do this. Let's do that next next Monday. All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.